Welcome back, S'mores, to Beyond the Campfire. It is spooky month, and I hope you guys have liked the episodes we've been coming out with on our Patreon. If you have not seen those, you need to go on our Patreon. There's a lot of funny stuff going on there, man. But yeah, we've got some more spooky stuff today. Tell us, Steve, where are we traveling today?
We are going south of the border to the land of Mexico. So,
Ooh, Mexico.
you know, and yeah, we have an island there, just kind of off the coast, and it has some very, very interesting objects there. So I'll leave it at that for our intro. But
Mm.
yeah, Will, if people are new to the podcast, where can they find us?
Well, you can find us on this really cool website called Instagram, or this really cool app called X, formerly known as Twitter, where you can find us at Beyond Campfire. And you can find our Patreon at Beyond the Campfire. And you can listen to us wherever you get podcasts. Obviously, you're listening to us now. So you found us. Congrats. Yay. You get a prize, a cookie. Congratulations.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. So we're heading to Mexico. I got my sombrero and my margarita. I'm ready to dip on down the border.
There you go. And what we're talking about today is what is called the Island of Dolls, or better known in Spanish, Espanol, as La Isla de las Muñecas. And again, means kind of the same thing. It's an island covered with decaying old dolls strung up in trees. So, yeah, you
Yeah.
walk up in there, and there's just a bunch of old dolls rotting away, hung up from the trees.
Yeah, I've heard of this place before, and let me tell you guys, if you're imagining a place of nightmares, congratulations, you imagined right.
So, yeah, we're going to get into the history of it. We're going to talk about what it is like today. And then we'll finally end our episode with a ChatGPT story of me and Will making a visit to the island. So, we will see what we encounter over there. But before that, yeah, time to get into the history. How this island came to have several decaying old doll
Yeah.
corpses. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we will see how these things go. So
I don't like dolls.
we've the only we haven't talked about Annabelle yet,
No.
but I know we did talk about Robert the doll.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We gotta be careful because last time we mentioned him, he screwed up our footage.
I know, right? Yeah. If you guys want to go back and watch that episode, which I think we that probably could be a something we give for Patreon viewers is our first attempt at recording that
No,
episode.
it's on there.
Oh, it is on there. Okay.
Mhm.
Good. All right. So we haven't left the Patreon people with nothing. There's
Yeah. You
yeah.
guys got New Year's, you got or Christmas, you guys got there's the 1 year anniversary special, there's that episode, there's now Steven going on a date with a cryptid. There's Steven dressed up as a very sexy lady.
As in
Yeah.
my gothic witch teen emo girl era.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go check out Patreon. But yeah, no, the only dolls we've talked about has just mostly been He Who Shall Not Be Named.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully this doll episode will go a lot better.
Hopefully.
Not our first doll episode, and it certainly won't be our last doll episode. I do think we want to talk about Annabelle at some point, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about her.
But in the meantime, so let's get into it. The story of La Isla de las Muñecas really begins with the story of a man named Don Julián Santana Barrera.
That was a
Don
mouthful.
Julián Santana Barrera. I'm probably just going to call him Don Julián for short. As fun as his name might be, Don Julián Santana Barrera, I'm just going to kind of keep it um, that way. So, he is a native of Exchimilco, which is a borough of Mexico City. And Don Julian left his wife and family sometime in the mid 20th century to go and get himself this island on Tashula Lake.
Hmm.
So it's the mid 1900s. Guy gets up, leaves his wife, leaves his kids, kind of a deadbeat, right?
Yep.
And he goes and he gets himself this island on Tashula Lake.
Wow. Hope it was worth it leaving your family for some lake and then some island in the middle of a lake.
So we don't really know exactly why he did that. There's a lot of reasons a person could leave his. You know, um, maybe he and his wife are not getting it on anymore. Maybe they're having some other problems. Maybe he just decided that he wanted to be by himself. Whatever it is.
Midlife crisis, Some guys buy a Corvette, some guys buy an island and leave their family.
Yeah. So,
You know?
not justifying it. No man should ever leave his wife and kids. Even
No. If you're going through a midlife crisis, don't go buy an island. Go buy a Corvette.
yeah, don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Don't leave your wife and kids.
No. Don't buy an island either.
Yeah,
Actually buy the island, but bring your wife and kids.
we here on Beyond the Campfire, we advocate for the family stay together. So
Unless
All right.
she's abusing you.
Unless she's abusing you, yeah, sure. Not saying you can never leave a marriage, but yeah, going to go buy an island in the middle of the lake, not a good reason to leave your wife and kids. So
No.
Don Julio, as it became clear later, was not in his right mind. He was a little poco loco, if you know what I mean. So
Midlife crisis. Yep, got it.
yeah. Um, but yeah, strange things happened when he got to that island. So, not too long after building himself a home and setting himself up on this island, he found something very, very chilling.
Oh.
So one day he gets up, he's walking along the shores of the beach, and he stumbles upon the body of a young girl who had drowned in the lake.
Well, I don't think you should have bought that island, or if you did, you should have probably got it for cheaper.
Yeah, I definitely not normal for dead bodies to be coming up on the shore. Certainly not dead bodies of children, right? Of a young girl. So,
Yeah.
obviously very tragic. Shortly thereafter, though, a doll came floating down the canals.
Oh boy.
Presumably the girls, right? So, I
Oh
guess
boy.
she took this doll with her into the ocean. She drowned. Her body kind of came up on the shore, and then her doll came up next
Yeah.
to her. But this doll that Don Julian had found, changed the very course of his life and would shape the character of the island for years to come.
So it wasn't that you left your wife and children that changed your lives. It wasn't finding a dead body that changed your life. It was the doll.
It was the doll, man. So I don't know if this doll had anything to do with Annabelle or the other doll, whose name shall not be named. But you can
No,
find
I think they're like all cousins. So
yeah. I won't spend too much time on this because we covered it when we talked about Mr. Roberto Nadal, but we had theorized, and I think you and me both believe this, that demons can possess objects,
yeah.
not just people. And I was skeptical at first. I am now a believer. I do think demons can inhabit and infect
Yeah.
objects, including dolls. So, if you're up in the middle of the night and a doll is moving around by itself, yeah, there's some demonic activity going on, man.
Yeah.
Definitely something weird there. But
Yeah. Definitely something weird. I mean, because I mean, we won't go into it. That actually, I think that'll be more on Steven's future podcast. He'll probably go into a little bit about that stuff. But yeah, here on Beyond the Campfire, we believe that demons can possess objects and that objects can become possessed. Yes.
yeah, so again, if you want more information on that, you can check out my future podcast at some point beyond the Bible. Or you could also go back and watch our episode on Mr. Roberto Lundell, and we kind of talked about it a decent bit back then as well.
Yeah, I think we've actually talked about it not just on dolls, but on other objects too in some
I think we talked
episodes.
about it for a few things, right? Yeah, because we talked about the Bassano vase
Yeah,
and the Grand Grimoire and stuff like
yeah.
that. Okay, so
Anyways, back to it.
yep. So Don Julian is alone on this island, and he takes the doll and he decides to hang it on a tree in order to appease the spirit of the dead girl.
Sure, bud.
So, at least in the eyes of this guy who considered himself to be the island's caretaker, after kind of looking at it and thinking about it, he decided that one doll was not enough. One doll was not enough.
Was that his decision, or like did the little girl like go like all full like polter or exorcism? One doll's not enough. Need more dolls. Give
Yeah,
me more dolls.
it's a bit unclear. There's kind of a couple of theories. So some said, hey, in his mental illness, he kind of decided it for himself. Some reports say he walked up to the doll, and whether it was a case of him going crazy or whether it was a case of the spirit of the doll or the spirit of the girl taking over the doll. Don Julian had mentioned that the doll actually spoke to him and told him to hang up more dolls.
Oh
So
boy.
again, whether that was just his craziness or a spirit or both, because it could be, it could also be both. We don't know for sure, but after having this encounter per se, whether real or imagined, he decides, yeah, I'm gonna continue to scrounge up dolls from the trash and from the canals, and I'm gonna hang them on all of the island's trees.
You could have hanged something else, man. You could have hanged Christmas lights, and it would have been all so pretty and nice and warming and inviting. But instead, you decided I'm gonna hang broken, busted up, creepy looking baby dolls and call it good. Call it bueno. It's no bueno.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely very, very odd behavior from him. Most of the dolls he would hang whole, right? So he'd hang up whole dolls
Yeah,
there.
that's normal.
However, he continued to get older and just kind of a bit more delusional in life. He started to hang out even messed up dolls. He would hang up headless ones, ones without their torso, ones without other limbs or eyes or other things, and he just decided, yeah, that's what he was going to do. He was going to walk around this island, and every time he looked at these trees, there'd be all these dolls hanging from the trees, some of them missing several parts.
Yep.
And
Creep
yeah,
factor was here, and now it's through the roof. It's one thing to have like haunted dolls that are like full bodied dolls that are sitting there kind of creepily looking at you. But could you imagine like one that doesn't have an arm, one that doesn't have an eye, one that is just arms and legs and no head and no torso and it's just sitting there? It's like no, that's the creep factor. Because I feel like even normal regular dolls are creepy.
oh,
Like Barbie is creepy. You know what's not creepy? GI Joe. Be a
yeah,
man.
and bring back the men's toys. So
Exactly. Bring back the
uh,
action figures.
there you go. So obviously, this guy not in his right mind, something going on. One of the biggest mysteries though remains this little girl was never identified. What he did with the body, we have no idea. But the girl's body has not been found. So some people tend to believe that Don Julian either made up this little girl, or if he didn't make her up, he maybe buried her somewhere. Some people that tend to think he was even crazier than just hanging up dolls. Some believe that he actually ate her, that he cannibalized her. So we don't know exactly what happened, right? Obviously, when a girl's body goes missing and you don't find it, it's natural to wonder, well, what the heck happened to the body?
Yeah.
Um, so I guess once I finish the history and stuff like that, we can talk about our theories and what we believe. But yeah, Don Julian's family, at the very least, they think that he either made it up or just imagined the whole experience. So, obviously, I mean, that makes their family member look a lot better.
Yeah.
Because if he was a cannibal or something worse, like, obviously that doesn't reflect good on you or your family. So, you want to believe the story that makes him look better.
Right.
But, whether the girl was real or not, what is clear is that Don Julian really devoted the rest of his life to this girl. All these dolls he was hanging up, all this time he was spent to maintain the dolls and hang them from the trees and make sure everything was like arranged and in order. All of this was a tribute to her in some way. And yeah, I guess before I continue, I'll just ask you, yeah, any thoughts, comments, or questions so far?
I I don't think I have any. I mean, we'll go into theories later, but I don't know, man. It's a very strange case because it's like I guess you didn't find out was there actually a documented girl that did go missing, or was there? Because like obviously, like if, body or not, like if a little girl went missing, I'm pretty sure like they would have found out. Like, oh, we got this missing girl report.
Yeah, I could not find any reports about whether someone in the local area had found her or not. Uh, so yeah, basically what most people said is there's no evidence that this girl ever did exist.
Hmm.
So if she did exist, either her body had moved so far away that a missing girls report from hundreds of miles away wouldn't have been able to report on it. Um, or maybe her own parents killed her, right? Which is like a very disturbing thought. But of course, if
Yeah.
then they're not going to report it,
No, they're not going to report it.
So
No.
who's to say? Here's where things get creepy because we're almost at the end of the history part, and then we'll kind of go into. But um, Don Julian, Don Julian Santana Barrera passed away in 2001. His body was discovered. You want to take a guess?
Was it amongst the dolls?
He was drowned in the canal and found in the exact same place that he had always told people he had seen that little girl.
Oh hell no. Nope. 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 Nope.
So,
Nope. Mm.
people investigated. Was it a suicide? It looks like there's no foul play. It does look like it probably was an accident. But if it was an accident, then how did he end up in that same exact spot?
Exactly. That's weird.
And let's even say that he he did commit suicide, right? Like
Right.
it's very hard to get your body positioned in a place, especially if you had drowned yourself, right? And put yourself in a position to where you are in that same place and in that same condition as the little girl you found. So
Yeah.
there, it's been a mystery for a
How?
while.
I'll ask this. How old was he?
He was. That's a good question. He was old.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm asking.
Because he had been hanging up dolls for about 50 years at that point.
50 years. So he probably was pushing 70, 80.
Yeah. So
My guess is probably 80, 90.
yeah. He was 80.
80. Okay. So that okay, that makes it weirder because it's like an 80-year-old
Oh,
man.
I can't believe I missed this detail. Um,
Right.
so in the days leading up to his death, Don Julian's nephew came to visit him, And Don Julian's nephew kept saying, "Hey, my uncle, um, he keeps singing passionately. He never sang before, he's not really much of a singer, but he keeps singing a lot, and he keeps claiming that there are mermaids in the water that are calling for him."
Nope. Nope. I'm out. Nope.
Yeah.
Get the nope. Nope. Time out. Nope.
So, not long after, it was the nephew that he was the one that found his uncle lifeless, face down in the canal, in the same place. But yeah, so where does that leave us today? And this is really the last part I'll talk about, and then we'll kind of give our theories and finish with the ChatGPT story.
Yeah.
But many viewers have gone there today. Most people try not to disturb the dolls or move them or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
But visitors have reported that they've seen the dolls moving on their own,
Oh.
open, opening their eyes, and whispering to each other.
Oh boy.
So yeah, uh, they're either moving their heads, they're moving their arms, they're opening their eyes, and again, like many of them said, they said they would see some of the dolls talking to each other, and
So
interesting things. So
Steven,
yes.
how much money would it take for you to spend the night on the island by yourself?
Oh my goodness, by myself,
Yeah.
man. At a minimum, at a minimum, I feel like $10,000 is like is at a minimum, right? I wouldn't go below that.
Well, because the reason why is so for those of you who don't know about our Patreon, not now, but there is plans in the future where Steve and I will eventually investigate actual haunted locations. This is on the top of my list, and the reason why I asked Steven is because I'm thinking we spend 3 or 4 nights investigating. One night, 1 or 2 nights we're together, but then the nights after that, I spend a night alone on the island. You spend a night alone on the island, and we see who can last longer.
I like it.
Because I don't got 10 grand to pay you, so you're just gonna have to do it for free.
No, yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, if we went together, although if you wanted me to do it one of the nights, then like, yeah, I mean, I'd probably do it for free as long as I was with someone other person.
Well, the idea would be that we would do it together one night, and then the nights after that, like I'd be on the island by myself one night, you'd be on the island by yourself one night.
Hmm.
Like I'd have a base
I
camp across the canal.
Yeah.
It'd be funny. We'd be sitting there, and it'd be like I would be recording myself over at base camp, and I'd be like, "You guys hear that through the woods? Y'all hear that like girl scream?
Yeah.
That's not a ghost girl. That's Steve. He's been doing that for the past 5 minutes. Oh, and right on schedule. He's crying now.
Alrighty. Theories, and then we'll start. So, do you think something supernatural is going on this island, or do you think this was just a delusional guy who hung up dolls, but nothing too weird past that?
I think there's something.
Hmm.
I think I think there's
Go ahead.
I think there's a lot of strange coincidences. Now there are like the thing is there are some parts that are kind of like questionable. Like okay, the girl, where'd she go? Where's the body? But I could see now. I don't think he'd eat her. I don't think he made it up either. I think what could have happened is I think he might not have really known like because you got to think about it too. Like if a random dead person wash up on your in front of your house, and you went to the police are probably gonna think you did something. So I could see either that or in some sort of delusion, he decided to give her a proper burial on the island. Um, and I think that could have fueled more the fire of there being the paranormal with her
Sure.
body being on the island. Um, I think it's real. I think there's something going on there. I think there's something demonic happening, and it's a freaky thing. And we're gonna definitely try to get Steven to spend one night on the island.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I do think something's there, right? With the caveat that I think maybe some of the details are being exaggerated, but overall,
B.
I just think his death was really weird. Like,
Yeah, that's the strange thing because he's 80 years old, and I don't know how an 80-year-old can drown himself.
yeah, yeah,
And to line up in the exact like he's 80 years old, he's already been going crazy, and you're telling me somehow a crazy 80-year-old man is going to position himself to die by drowning in the exact same spot as another person who drowned several years prior.
exactly, right. It's odd. It's
It's
odd,
very odd.
and yeah, I mean, it makes me think something more spiritual rather than
And
mental.
we know like demons can hurt people because
Oh,
like some people get scratches, um, people get slapped, people get pushed, people get bitten. Like there's all kind of these guys can really mess you up.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, brother. Let's go ahead and do the ChatGPT story, and I think that'll do it for this episode.
Alrighty.
All right, Beyond the Campfire presents The Island of the Dolls. The fog in Chimilco was so thick it looked alive. The moon hung pale above the canals, its reflection rippling between the reeds as a lone wooden boat creaked toward the island. Will stood at the bow, revolver holstered, hat low over his eyes. A cigarette hung from his lip.
Hey, hold up. It's bow, not bow.
You got me there, man. Bow. All right, so he's at the bow. He got a cigarette. I don't know why I added that, but there you go. They say the dolls move on their own, he muttered. That's not ghost. That's demons. And I aim to send them all back to hell. Behind him, Stephen sighed, his oar slicing through the black water. Will, this isn't the way. You think you could shoot your way through a curse? We don't even know what's here. Will turned, the mist curling around his silhouette. I know enough. Little girl dies, man starts hanging dolls up in her honor. Next thing you know, tourists hear whispers. That's demonic imitation. Tragedy turned playground for devils. And what if it's sorrow? Stephen asked. What if you're about to pick a fight with grief itself? Will smirked. Then grief picked the wrong cowboy. They both thudded against the shore. The island loomed before them, trees bent under the weight of hundreds of rotting dolls. Some dangled from nooses, others nailed to the trunks. Their plastic eyes gleamed in the torchlight. Stephen stepped onto the dock, the boards creaking. Lord have mercy. Don't start praying yet, Will said, cocking his revolver. Save it for when they start crawling.
Oh no.
They followed a narrow path deeper into the woods. The dolls lined both sides like mourners at a funeral. A breeze swept through, and dozens of porcelain heads turned ever so slightly, eyes following them. Stephen froze. Did did you see that? Will's hand was already on his gun. Yeah, guess playtime's over. The first doll fell from a tree and landed at Will's boots. Its cracked lips moved. Stay with us. Stephen gasped. The other dolls began to twitch, one by one, a chorus of tiny, cracking joints and rustling limbs. Their heads spun, arms flailing like marionettes. The air smelled of rot and ozone. Will! Stephen shouted, drawing his three swords, blades forged for battles both physical and spiritual. Will grinned. Finally, something I understand. He fired. The gunshots echoed through the trees, shattering porcelain skulls and wooden limbs. But for every doll that fell, three more scuttled forward, dragging themselves on splintered fingers, crawling up trees, shrieking in high pitched voices. Stephen swung his swords in arcs of silver light, severing puppet strings of darkness. Between every strike, he prayed aloud, "In the name of Christ, the Son of God, be gone." The dolls recoiled, hissing. Will reloaded, the cylinder clicking like a clock of judgment. You know, Steve, this'd be easier if I wasn't surrounded by 50 possessed Cabbage Patch Kids. Then stop talking and pray, Stephen yelled back. I am praying, Will growled. Praying my aim holds. A doll leapt onto Stephen's back, its tiny hands clawing at his neck. He reached back and tore it off, flinging it into the mud. Will! Will turned and shot it midair. The doll exploded in a burst of ash and porcelain. You're welcome, Will shouted. Then came silence. The surviving dolls stopped moving. Their heads turned toward the old shack at the island's center. From within came a sound of low sobbing. Stephen looked at Will. Brother, you hear that? Will nodded. Yeah, the big one's in there. They stepped cautiously inside. Dolls hung from every beam. In the center of the floor lay a crude shrine. Candles burned to stubs, and in the middle sat a single doll with glassy blue eyes. It stared straight ahead. Stephen stepped forward. Will, it's her, the first doll. Will raised his gun. Not for long. Don't, Stephen barked. This isn't a demon to kill. It's a soul to free. The doll's head turned toward them, its mouth open wide. Too wide, releasing a guttural scream that shook the floorboards. The walls pulsed with whispers. He took her. He left her. Will stumbled back. What in tarnation is that? Stephen fell to his knees. It's it's the voice of the man who lived here. Don Julián Santana Barrera. His guilt. His torment. So what do we do? Will shouted back. Stephen closed his eyes. We prayed. Suddenly, the walls collapsed. Uh, Dolls began to swarm, their arms reaching, eyes glowing. Will dropped to one knee beside Stephen, both surrounded by the writhing mass of broken dolls. Together, they prayed. Will, with gritted teeth, Stephen, with tears in his eyes. Father, deliver this island. Break the power of death. Redeem what was lost. The air exploded with light. The dolls convulsed, their voices rising into a single anguished wail before falling silent. One by one, they slumped, lifeless to the ground. Just dolls once again. The candle flame steadied. Stephen opened his eyes. It's over. Will holstered his gun. Next time, we do this in the daylight. They stepped outside. The fog had lifted. Dawn painted the sky gold. And for the first time, the dolls hung still. No wind, no whispers, just silence. Will looked at Stephen. You think Don Julián is at peace? I think so, Stephen said. But peace isn't found in hanging dolls or fighting shadows. It's found in the one who faced death and came out the other side. Will smiled faintly. Guess I'll holster my demons for the day, preacher. Stephen chuckled. Until the next time, cowboy. They pushed the boat off the dock, drifting away as the sun broke through the mist. The island faded behind them, hundreds of dolls watching in silence, the dawn gleaming on their still faces. And far off in the distance, as they disappeared down the canal, one porcelain hand twitched just once. The end.
Like, dude, let me tell you, that'd be I would pee myself if like 100 freaking porcelain little dolls started crawling at us. Come join us. No,
Right.
no.
I like how you just started firing off without even like.
Well, yeah, it terrified me, man. I see something creepy crawling. I'm gonna, you got a roach in the house. You don't need a shoe. You need a gun.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely killed a lot more than I did.
Oh yeah.
So I
I
think
got a
it
grenade.
I think it credited you with like destroying dozens of them. I think I killed maybe one. With
Wow, Steve, come on, take up the slack.
I know, but yeah, that's it. That's all I have. So, Will, any thoughts, comments, questions, or concerns before we wrap this up?
That I can think of.
Alrighty, well, S'mores, thank you for joining us on another adventure. We hope you guys keep tuning in for this spooky month of Halloween. And yeah, please, if you haven't already, consider joining our Patreon. We got a lot of fun, exclusive Halloween content coming up this month. So we hope you join us.
Yeah, and thank you guys again for watching. And be careful on that island. Come play with us. Come play with us. Come play with us.